I'm Bill Zortman, and welcome to It's Your Agribusiness. Now, this is the backside of a Working on Wellness Wednesday, and often we continue with a wellness segment or two, and that's what we're doing this morning. Mary Michaels is with us. I can't use every guest to be in the wellness or the ag show. You're one of those that I can. So
crossover.
Yeah, you are a crossover. I mean, you're a redhead. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
That's right.
But let's talk a little bit about temperatures down, utility bills, and scams up.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about different types of fraud and scams, and it's unfortunate that there's enough types of scams out there that we can fill every week talking about a different type of scam. But at this time of the year, and especially after the last week, we all know what's happened with the temperatures, and that means we're maybe inching that furnace up a little bit. But what it also means, unfortunately, there's scammers out there who take advantage of this time of year and make those phone calls or send those texts or emails saying you're going to get disconnected, you're late on your payment, pay right now, or you're going to lose your heat. And, you know, when they're using those high-pressure tactics, that's what they're trying to put you into a state of panic. And they want to keep you in that state of panic long enough for you to actually do something about it.
You will do something without thinking, and all of a sudden you're into their web.
Right, exactly. And all it takes is you give them that bank account number, that credit card number, you click on a link. But, again, we talked about it, I think, last week or the week before, about that stop, think, verify. Stop, just end that phone call. Call your utility company directly. You know, there's going to be a phone number on there, your last statement, or if you have an online account that you can log into, call your utility company directly and say, I just got this call, I just got this email. Am I really behind? Chances are you're not, you know. And if you are maybe late on a payment, they're going to work with you directly. But if you get one of those scams, especially when you don't recognize the number, but remember, sometimes they can spoof those phone numbers, so it might look like it's coming from your area code or your town prefix. Just hang up that phone and call your utility company directly.
Well, it's gotten so bad, some of those in our family, particularly the older folks, have done away with Facebook. They've done away with anything that might attract these outsiders for thinking we're an easy touch.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because you want to have those different connection points with your family and friends. You just have to remember that a lot of those online sites, social media ads, posts that look like maybe they're a news post just really aren't. So you don't necessarily have to cut yourself all the way off. Just know that you shouldn't click on those links, and there are different ways that you can verify whether information is true or not.
Let's see, help advocate for South Dakota 50+. Tell us about that.
Well, we're a week into the legislative session already, and the bills are coming fast and furious. Committees are working. I heard the Secretary of Health talking earlier about some of the things that they're looking at and working on, so it's a busy time in Pierre. And because we have such a short legislative session in South Dakota, it's hard.
39 days.
It's amazing what they have to do in that amount of time. So especially as we get further into January and into February, when the pace really starts to pick up, it's hard to watch, you know, to keep an eye on everything that's going on. And that's why we are there. AARP South Dakota maintains a presence in Pierre to watch all of the different issues that might impact the 50+ and their families. And it's everything from the property tax rebate program for older adults and those with disabilities to voter access, Medicaid expansion, just expanding the practice of different health professionals in our state. I know the Secretary talked a lot about telemedicine and equipping EMS services. I mean, those are things that we watch, too, because our older residents in rural areas need that access to health care. So we just make it really easy for people by sending out a weekly update. Here's what's happening here, or here's an opportunity where you might want to contact a legislator, promoting when there's going to be legislative coffees happening so that people can have those one-on-one conversations with their lawmakers. But it's just really important for everyone to know that your voice matters. We're the ones that send those folks to Pierre, so it's okay for you to share your opinion.
We're their
with
bosses.
Them. Exactly. You know, so let them know what you're thinking. Get involved. Send that email. Make that phone call. Come with us to Lobby Day. We are going out there on January 30th, and we've got some buses going from different areas of the state. And that's just a really great way to see everything in action, but then to make your voice heard.
I saw this, and I'm putting 5 things together with you, okay? And you suggest people wear layers, multiple thin layers, keep the cold air out, prevent falls, take care with electric heaters and generators. And then you said avoid alcohol.
So those are all tips for dealing with the extreme cold. Obviously, this last week, we've all been through it. A lot of times when you wear multiple thin layers, things that can wick away moisture from your body, that's better than putting on just one heavy layer. Because if you get cold through that layer, if it gets wet, at least when you're wearing multiple layers, you can take off or add on as you need. You want to make sure that when we still have cold and ice and snow out there, that you're wearing sturdy shoes, walking slowly, keeping your hands free in case you do need to brace yourself, watching indoor electrical heaters, that they have clearance around them, that they're not next to curtains or other types of fabric, that you're not using those heaters unattended. But the alcohol piece, when you drink alcohol, even though you might think that, oh, this is going to make me feel warm, it actually constricts your blood vessels. It takes heat away from your core. Plus, with too much alcohol, then you get a little bit of impaired judgment. And we don't want that when we're dealing with extreme cold.
Do you know that personally?
No, just strictly from observation.
Observation. All right. Where do they find this information?
All of this information we usually put out as blog posts on our website. So aarp.org/SD. We usually have a few stories kind of above the fold, so to speak, but keep scrolling down our page. You can find all this great information. Anybody's welcome to go out and peruse our media hub, too. Again, it's just a way to collect all of our news releases in one place. But we also share a lot of these great tips on our social media. So that's Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Mary Michaels, appreciate you being with us. The alcohol thing, you have to make your own judgment, but be smart.
Absolutely. Just be smart.